Wire ass. Thanks, Paige. All right, let's get this going. So good news, bad news. If you were here last hour or watching on the live stream, you know that Daphne Willis, our scheduled guest and amazing musician and graduate, is not here. She is in Nashville on her way to Dallas because 3 of her flights got canceled to come to Fremd. The weather didn't look bad here, pretty bad down there. So she is like heartbroken that she cannot be here to perform for you guys. So if you're an underclassman, hopefully we'll have Daphne back. We will have Daphne back, and you'll be able to hear how wonderful she is. So that's the bad news. The good news is we have a very special guest. And she bent over backwards and rushed around. She landed in the airport about, 15 minutes ago, it seems like, to be here for you. She is my favorite. I know she will be your favorite if she's not already. Please help me in welcoming Sierra DeMulder.
What's good, friend? How you doing? All right, my name is Sierra DeMulder. I'm a 2-time National Poetry Slam champion and a thrice published author. How many people here, it's your first Writers Week? The quiet ones, okay, cool. Cool, great, welcome Writers Week. How's everybody's day going so far? What's your favorite color on 3? 1, 2, 3. All right. The smart people wait until the end, because then I can hear you. Blue, great, that's my favorite color too. All right, I'm gonna just get started. Ready? Dear you, whoever you are, however you got here, this is exactly where you are supposed to be. This moment has waited its whole life for you. This moment is your lover and you are a soldier. Come home, baby, it's over. You don't need to suffer anymore. Dear you, this moment is your surprise party. You are both hiding in the dark and walking through the door. This moment is a hallelujah. This moment is your permission slip to finally open that love letter you've been hiding from yourself. The one you wrote when you were little. When you still danced like a sparkler at dusk, do you remember the moment you realized they were watching? When you became ashamed of how much light you were holding? When you first learned how to unlove yourself? Dear you, the word today means amen in every language. Today, we made it. Today, I'm gonna love myself. Today, I'm gonna love you. Today, the box cutter will rust in the garbage. The noose will forget how to hold you. Today, dear you, and I have always meant you. Nothing would be the same if you did not exist. You, who were once as small as a bouquet, who slept in the laps of strangers, nothing would be the same if you did not exist. You, whose voice is someone's favorite voice, someone's favorite face to wake up to, nothing would be the same if you did not exist. You, the teachers, the starter's guns, the lantern in the night who offers not a way home but the courage to travel farther into the dark. You, the lover, who worships the taste of her body, who is the largest tree ring in his heart, who does not let fear ration your love. You, the friend, the sacred chorus of how can I help? You, who have felt more numb than holy, more cracked than mosaic, who have known the tiles of a bathroom by heart, who have forgotten what makes you worth it. You, the forgiven, the forgiver, who belongs right here in this moment. You, this clump of cells, this happy explosion that happened to start breathing, and by the grace of whatever is up there, you got here. You made it this whole way, through the nights that swallowed you whole, the mornings that arrived in pieces, the scabs, the gravel, the doubt, the hurt is over today. You made it. You made it. You made it here. Thank you. All right. I'm going to do an older piece. How many people here are in love? No one. It's a loveless high school. How many people here have a crush on someone? Inappropriate. How many people here have a crush on someone and they have a crush on someone else? That wasn't funny. Good try though. So literally no one here has ever felt feelings for someone who is with someone else. Okay, congrats, because it's horrible, and I would never wish that on anyone. Okay, so I was in love with one of my best friends for 3 years, and all I got was this stupid poem. Just kidding. Not bitter. Anymore. So I will do the poem, but I got a funny story about the poem afterwards. Cool? You're going to remind me to read it? Tell you it? Yes? Thank you. So this is on watching someone you love somebody else. You will be out with friends when the news of her existence is accidentally spilled all over your bar stool. Respond calmly as if it was only a change in weather, a punchline you saw coming. After your 4th shot of cheap liquor, leave the image of him kissing another woman in the toilet. In the morning, her name will be in every headline. Car crash, robbery, flood. When he calls you, ignore the hundreds of ropes untangling themselves in your stomach. You are the best friend again. When he invites you over for dinner, say yes too easily. Remind yourself, this isn't special. It's only dinner. Everyone has to eat. When he greets you at the door, do not think for 1 second you are the reason he wore cologne tonight. Someone told you once that a soulmate is not the person who makes you the happiest, but the one who makes you feel the most, who can conduct your heart to bang the loudest, who can drag you giggling with forgiveness from the cellar they locked you in. It has always been him. In his kitchen, he will hand feed you a piece of red pepper. His laugh will be low and warm and will make you feel like candlelight. Do not think this is special. Do not count on your fingers the number of freckles you could kiss too easily. Try to think of pilot lights or olive oil, not everything you have ever loved about him, or it will suddenly feel boiling and possible and so close. You will find her bobby pins lying innocently on his bathroom sink. Her bobby pins. They look like they're wiry legs of spiders. Splinters of her undressing in his bed. Do not say anything. Think of stealing them, wearing them home in your hair. When he hugs you goodbye, let him kiss you on the forehead. Settle for target practice. At home, you will picture her pressing her fingers into his back like wet cement. You will wonder if she looks like you. If you are 2 bedrooms in the same house, did he fall for her features like rearranged furniture? When he kisses her, does she taste like new paint? You will want to call him. You will go as far as holding the phone in your hand. Imagine telling him all these unimaginable things, like you are always ticking inside of me, and I dream of you more often than I don't. My body is a dead language, and you pronounce each word perfectly. Do not call him. Fall asleep to the hum of the VCR. She must make him happy. She must be his favorite place in Minneapolis. You are a souvenir shop, where he goes to remember how much people miss him when he's gone. Thank you. So, funny story about that poem. It's on YouTube, so haha, screw you, dude. Just kidding. And one of my favorite comment on the internet is that somebody wrote, but really, who owns a VCR anymore? And then somebody responded to that comment, I think it's a metaphor for living in the past. Ooh, nope, just the only way I can watch Jurassic Park, actually. So, yeah. I also love, this is totally fine because I'm here and I am happy to be here, but I love watching people talk while I perform because it makes you really uncomfortable when I catch you talking and then do the whole poem staring at you. So if you talk, that's totally cool. I'm just going to assume that you want me to dedicate my unrequited love poem to you, or my poem about tampons that I'm about to do. So I swear, I love teenagers. I think teenagers are like my spirit animal, but y'all think you are invisible. It's hysterical. Okay, so this is a terrible poem. This is a response poem to your poem about how buying tampons for your daughter is terrifying, but you do it because you love her. This is a very serious poem, okay? I get it. You're afraid of things with tails. You must have a fear of hamsters or tiny baby kittens. Perhaps you have a severe cotton allergy, in which case you are most likely always naked and cannot go outside to realize that half of the population, including your mother, are being attacked monthly by this terrifying Satan sponge. Guess what? You were right all along. Vaginas are not actually a sexual organ that are strong and enduring and can give birth to a gaggle of adorable babies. No! Vaginas are actually dragons. Scaly, fire-breathing vaginazillas that feed off of tampons and boy parts and lesbians. Thank goodness you're here to warn us, young white poet man. Thank goodness you're here to write a poem about something radical and progressive and liberating for all fathers out there to finally be able to express their fear and confusion of the tampon aisle. I agree. Way too many bright, threatening colors. You might already understand the lady part's basic evolutionary functions, i.e. peeing, bleeding, and Tim Allen impressions. However, there is so much more danger, my friend. For example, cramps are actually caused by tiny ovary gnomes strangling your fallopian tubes. Bears aren't attracted to menstrual blood. Menstrual blood is attracted to bears. The only way to protect your daughter is to lock her in her closet for 5 days like a bleeding Harry Potter. Lord knows there's nothing more terrifying than periods, than natural bodily functions. It's hard enough that everything on this God-forsaken planet teaches women to hate themselves, to feel ashamed before feeling beautiful, and you are disgusted by the one thing your daughter's body does that yours doesn't. I know, tampons do look like tiny bullets, just more ammo for the vaginazilla. I know, they expand in water, not unlike an infection or tiny deadly jellyfish. I know, it's hard to understand how they don't just fall out or get lost in the dark cavern, but your daughter is bleeding to death. You must go, young white poet man, go where many other men have been before and survived, because it's just tampons, you dramatic little child. So many men in the audience wanted me to dedicate that to him. So I'm like, hey, tampons! I'm just kidding. I don't know what that was. All right. That does not sound good. Okay. Giggle, giggle. So I write a lot about myself because I'm an artist, haha. And I read a lot about my family, and they love that, ha ha ha, on them. But I do a lot of work in mental health advocacy, and I've written a lot about my own journey to healing, but I didn't really know myself until I learned that until I started taking care of someone else. So this next poem is dedicated to my sister. It's dedicated to those who are healing and those who support the healers. And backstory, we grew up in upstate New York. I was raised by hippies. My middle name is Fawn, to give you an essence of my childhood. And I tried to include a lot of imagery from upstate New York in this poem. So this is for my sister. When my sister needs to talk, I extend my arms towards her like a child asking to be held. I turn my palms upward as if donating blood and let her empty the contents of her day on me. The words file out, orderly at first, and then a swarm spilling over me like the soft swell of a mushroom cloud until I do not remember where I begin and her need ends. Once, I held a newborn baby in my arms. Naked as truth comes, she was 3 weeks old, her heartbeat a moth I trapped between my palms. This is what it's like to love the healing. If my sister's eating disorder were a person, it would be a teenager by now. I imagine it, doorknobs for knees, long, graceful fingers like the legs of ballerinas, the beaks of cranes. It would have a favorite book, a locker combination, a best friend, her. I tell her I won't let her live in my house if she lets it sleep over. I tell her I can't see it, but I know it's there. I tell her nothing. And just let the cloud of her day rise like dough, milkweed woman, catacomb breast. This is how to love the healing. to be not the sound, but the receptacle, to be not the therapist, but the paint actor, to be not the therapist, but the stop actor, to be not the paint, not the blank canvas, not the bed the artist crawls back to. Tonight, I rub my sister's shoulders. My thumbs mistake her back for the staircase in my childhood home. She tells me that she is scared, that the waves are rising and the ship is begging to become driftwood. The hounds are howling tonight and the moon is so full it could burst. She tells me that she has been symptom-free for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. It feels so small. A heartbeat, a newborn, a fluttering of smothered wings. But sister, this is what it's like to heal, to get up again and again after the waves come, to retrain the hounds of your body. Dragonfly, child of stone and moss, you are dancing this dance you know by heart. You are crawling out from under yourself. Spring drinker, sap collector, you are drawing a map to forgiveness. Where you are, where you already live, you just don't know it yet. Perfect isn't where we're from, and we wouldn't like it there anyway. Big sister, little dipper, who taught me how to sing the way light streams through a window, how to live boldly and without shame. Sister, when we were little, I didn't know what it was like to face the dark, twisting woods behind our house alone. When I think of what courage is, sweet sapling, falcon of a woman, I see your hand reaching back for me, leading me into the forest, into the unknown, the seam of your shoulder, the horizon of your voice, saying, look, I've got you, I'm here, blackberry briar, hunter's daughter, you were born to walk through this. You were made to travel that long journey into yourself. Now look into the distance. I'm there if you need me, arms out, ready to listen, ready to sing. Sweet sister, I've got you, I'm here. So, a little over a year ago, I lost my grandfather to dementia, and so I wrote a poem about that experience. My grandfather was a professional storyteller. He was an English major, and he was very long-winded, and I think that's where I get it all from. But my grandfather wrote and self-published a 400-page autobiography, like this big, and we all got one for Christmas when I was like 16. And as a young person, I was like, oh, cool, great, a book, awesome. Because I was a snotty piece of garbage. But I thought it was for me that whole time. I thought it was for my family. But as my grandfather lost his memories in the last months of his life, when he couldn't recognize his wife's face or remember my name, we were reading aloud to him from this autobiography. We were reading him his life. And so now I know it was for him all along, and if that's not poetry, I don't know what is. So this poem is for my grandfather. This is your wife, Barbara. This is your son, Scott. This is you in your Navy uniform waiting for that train to come. You always told me that you only chose the Navy because the uniform matched the color of your eyes. Remember? My grandfather coughs. I hand him a water bottle. Over the past hour, we've been alternating between a photo album and me reading aloud to him from his 400-page self-published autobiography. When he fumbles, I open the water bottle for him. Our hands touch, and his eyes look up at me, wet with recognition. On the first page of the photo album is a note from the nursing home staff. In big kindergarten-style letters, it reads, "You have a disease that affects your memory. We are here to help." Look, Grandpa, this is the house you grew up in, the farm. That's your sisters. You always told me that your sisters used to put on extra layers of clothing before milking the cows in the morning so the smell of manure wouldn't follow them to school. Do you remember your sisters? His words come out like shy children, slow and hesitant. He tells me he remembers but does not say more. I read somewhere that people with dementia might lie or pretend to understand to avoid embarrassment. I try not to think about this and turn the page. Look, Grandpa, this is you and Grandma singing, playing guitar. You always told me that she played bad and you played worse. I remember when you taught me my first chord, it was a G chord. Remember? The bathtub is slowly draining. The photograph is developing in reverse. All those words just floating about, his mouth an empty mason jar, the fireflies just out of reach. My grandfather picks up his autobiography, holds it up in the air as if handing it to God, and says the most words he has said to me all day. Did I actually write this? I don't remember. If dementia is the body's longest goodbye, then let these be the last memories it pries from your fingers. This is your wife, Barbara. You told me this summer you eloped, her skin was sunburned the color of a cherry. This is your son, Scott. He has your eyes, navy blue. This is the house you grew up in. This is you teaching. This is you playing guitar. This is your granddaughter. She wants to be a teacher like you. This is you. This is it in the end. This is all that is left. The memories, the moments, the people who will love you to the body's unflattering end. How quickly time passes us by. Just yesterday, it seems you were waiting for that train. It's here, Grandpa. It finally came. Thank you. Oh, how many people here have ever heard of the organization Right Love and Earn? Cool. So Right Love and Earn is an internationally known nonprofit. They work mostly in suicide prevention, addiction counseling, and mental health services. And I have been lucky enough for the past year or so to work with them, to collaborate with them. And during September, it's National Suicide Prevention Awareness Week, where we honor those who have struggled, those who we've lost, and the concept of hope behind staying and being present. And I had the privilege of being invited to write a poem specifically for this week, and I wrote it in collaboration with a poet named Tanya Ingram, so I can't take full credit for this poem. It was essentially a group piece. If you like it, I think you should look her up. This poem is in honor of that week of National Suicide Prevention Week, and it's in honor of staying when you're not sure if you want to stay. When sadness curls itself at the foot of your bed, when grief finds home in the basement of your chest, when your heart's garden swears it cannot grow here, when the day feels too heavy, when the balcony is a thieving distraction, when the drawers in the kitchen siren to you, when the night is as heavy as an anchor and you cling to your own shore, remember, you are the ocean, a single drop in the child's hand that can hold up a ship. When you make a mistake, when you misstep or misspeak, when you find yourself underneath the stains of your human, because you are human, when the heavy of it all calls to you like a wailing animal, remember, there's nothing wrong with you. There is everything significant about you, from your shoulders to your shins, from the galaxies in your irises to the orchestra in your throat, when the friends seem too few, when the phone doesn't ring, when it does, but you are too afraid to answer, too afraid that you are too quiet or take up too much space. Remember, your name does not begin or end in silence. Your story is not over. There are still chapters in this book. There is still time to fall in love, to fall out, to shatter and mend, to forgive and be forgiven. Keep reading. Crown your failures. Scream, I am worthy, until the stars collapse upon your brilliance. No, if depression is the verse, then hope is the chorus. Allow yourself to exist in this melody. Even when the instrument of your body is tired of playing, remember, self-love is not selfish. It is the mantra of someone who recognizes where they have been and where they need to go. Find your love in the lake. See how it ripples, how it continues. It is the earth's way of saying, you are important, you are endless, be good to you. Tell yourself, I deserve the keep. I deserve to love and be loved. I deserve the whole show, the encore, the darkness that falls like a curtain, and the morning that will always follow. We will be the voice that sings behind you, the receiving end of a phone call. No, you are not alone. No, you are not broken. We will run forward to greet you, and together we will dance like wildfire, because there is reason to celebrate. We will finally be. I will see you tomorrow. You will see me tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. All right. How y'all doing? Okay? What does it end? 50 or 55? Thank you. All right. So I have, so y'all know that I'm not supposed to be here. There's a warrant out for my arrest or something like that. No, I'm supposed to be here tomorrow, and I will be here tomorrow. But I don't, because I came directly from the airport, I don't have any of my books for sale. And I actually have my 2 normal books, and I have 2 brand new books that I've never sold at Fremd, which is super exciting. But I'm going to read a couple poems out of that book that I printed out. And if you want to buy one of those books or talk to me, you can talk to me afterwards. But if you want to buy one of those books, I'm going to try to come early tomorrow around noon and hang out in the break room, in the snack room, in the sweet Writers Week shelter with all the treats. And if you want a book, come find me there. I'll tweet at the hashtag or whatever when I'm here on campus. Does that sound good? No, it doesn't. So I'm going to read a couple shorter poems. Cool? This is about ending a really long relationship, so it's horrible. That's just the title. No, just kidding. It sucks. We finally decided to leave each other, to throw in the towel, as they say, which makes me think of our love as some red-faced boxer, lips ballooning, eyes disappearing inside themselves, or as a laboring woman, belly round, heeing and hawing, our love trying to push out new life, and us, 2 scared nurses, dabbing away the sweat on her brow or cleaning the blood from his busted lip. Our love, not pregnant nor a good left hook, but it did put up one hell of a fight. We chose to end it, to forfeit, which makes me think of our love as some shitty novel or board game that just goes on and on forever. Just end it. Maybe it's an animal struck down by a car. I've heard deer make the most human of noises as they die. Just end it. The night we did, we slept the kind of touchless sleep that only follows a funeral. I remember waking midday and hearing the sound of silence, nothing, and knowing where our love lives now. Our bodies refusing to arouse to a world bled of it. Some part of us must have wanted to stay there, in the in-between, where the baby isn't a stillborn, where the deer runs off into the meadow, where the boxer just gets up, punch after punch, and the rounds go on forever. Thank you. This is a true story. A year ago exactly, I was performing in Germany, and this is a true story about something that happened to me on the train. The train is late, a woman says to me, except it is in German, so I just smile a confused smile. I'm sorry, I only speak English. Her face, round as a pastry and dark as molasses, or something that isn't edible but still illustrates how she differs from me without making her consumable. It is cold here in Munich today, she says, but she wouldn't normally take the train, but she doesn't feel like walking. Originally from Ghana, her accent wraps each word in a thick wool blanket, her English stuffy but warm. She tells me that her daughter jumped from the highest building in Las Vegas. No, not suicide, she says. She was tied to a rope and bounced right back up as if the earth rejected her. Language is the passing of water from hand to cupped hand, impossible not to spill. We lick the bounty from our wrists. But I could never come to America, she says. Your police, they are too aggressive. I imagine the boy, the child, playing with a toy gun, cowboys and Indians, the game every white child gets to play without being actually scalped or shot. I think of the unarmed dead, the families. To hear a mother howling is to believe humans are animals, and all animals are built to grieve. No, I do not want to come to your country, she says. I tell all my family in America, do not resist the police. Do not question. Do not reach for your wallet. It is the only place where your money is no good. Thank you. Okay, I got a handful more and then we'll take some questions. Sound good? I don't know what that voice was. Sierra needs to go to sleep. I was up at my flight, was at like 7 in the morning, which isn't that bad, but I had to get up early. Where is it? Okay, hey, so I wrote a poem on my knees, and it's in my new book that's for sale, but not today. It's on the internet, though, and it's in Barnes & Noble. And so things you need to know about my niece, she is just a badass, and she, my sister, her mother, once asked her, like, if there was one thing that she could tell the world, or like the one thing she wanted the world to know about her, what would it be? And my niece, like, this is like a couple months ago, my niece stops and thinks really hard and really seriously, and she said, I want the world to know that I want to live in the wild and run with the panthers. Okay, am I the only person who thinks that's the coolest thing that a 9-year-old has ever said ever? Okay, apparently you guys have really cool 9-year-olds in your life. Bar low. All right, cool, great. So this is for my niece. And it's after this great poet named Amy Gersler. It is 90 degrees in Los Angeles this morning, and I've been drinking hot mint tea. So much so, in fact, I've probably peed at least 6 times in the past 2 hours. My voice is sore, not ready to face the day. My throat is a field, a cavern up which 100 words crawl. Sometimes it acts more like a water slide. Thoughts running to the top only to slip back down on their bellies. Livia, I realized this morning that one day soon you will be old enough to read my poetry. A terrifying thought for your parents, no doubt. But no more alarming than the fact that soon your child body will swell and stretch like an unfamiliar dress, a building uncollapsing. Soon you will realize that everyone in the world is afraid of looking stupid, and therefore you too will become afraid of looking stupid. I want you to know it wasn't always like this. Once, you entered the bathroom when I was brushing my teeth, proceeded to pull down your pants mid-conversation and sit on the toilet, your tiny feet brushing the tile floor. No pause, no embarrassment, quite literally business as usual. You made soft grunting noises as your body did what every body does. I know that when you are old enough to read my poetry and you find this poem, the one about the sounds you made while shitting, you will probably be embarrassed. Maybe even hate me a little. I'm sorry. Perhaps it's the quirky aunt in me. Maybe it's the poet who finds something thrilling about the unapologetic sounds, the dashing glory of childhood that curdles at the arrival of shame. How in that moment you reminded me of my own animal, my heirloom fear of being wild. How you, plank-legged fairy, princess of the wolves, taught me how to screech like an owl or its witch, Livia. I'm warming my voice this morning, and I feel like I'm lacing up my armor. I feel as though I'm off to fight the dragons, or better yet, befriend them. I'm trying to teach poetry in school districts that only know how to starve. I'm trying to show my students who don't know how to spell, how to write their lives in anything but blood. I'm trying to learn how to give and foster forgiveness in a body that wants none of it. When you are finally old enough to read my poetry, I think we will have a lot of catching up to do. I've enjoyed relearning you as you age. Every year unwraps a new layer. Every poem is a different thread of me. Soon you can read each screeching, slimy, heart-wrecked line, my sweet firecracker, my toothy walnut. Your mother has already given you your bookish vocabulary, which includes words like feeble, specific, and intergalactic, abnormally large for the average 9-year-old. However, Livia, your words are weapons. Your voice is the strength it takes to wield them. Better yet, let's free ourselves of violence as you have only ever been a valiant champion of tenderness. Livia, your words are lightning bugs. Your voice is the darkness that allows them to grow. Please know that every sound you have ever made and will ever make will always lead to grace. So until then, until we can swap poems and cartons of ice cream, I leave you this note. I'm thinking of you on this scalding day as I drink my tea. I'm imagining your skinny legs and your simmering laugh and your bursting eyes and the way you crawl so confidently into your aunt's lap to snuggle even though you are getting so big and so wise, and so soon you will be old enough to read all of this. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'll do one more and then we'll take questions. Sound good? So my friend Ariel and I worked together in a restaurant. The first 3 weeks of our friendship, the only things I said to her were, "Where the heck is the ketchup?" And "Oh my God, this mop smells like oranges and ass." At the same time, Ariel walks into every room like she is late for something, but she left her give a heck at home. Between shifts, we bond over awesome things like knitting or Ani DeFranco, and I've slowly acquired the following fascinating facts about her life. She rides a motorcycle. She can make herself burp on command, which she does musically, and she once owned a pet bunny named Nell, spelled with a silent G, that she used to carry around in her sweater when she went out to the bar every night. Live animal. This, I learned, was before the rehab. Ariel tells me she's not the type of person who needed rehab, but says she knows herself more because of it. I believe her. There is something about people who have seen their own wild darkness, who have had sadness cast itself like iron before them, the ones who mistook that empty hallway of depression for a mirror. Ariel has 6 fat scars like the rungs of a ladder up her forearm. I have never asked her about them, and I don't want to. I already know everything she has to say. I too have seen what spills from this body. I too have listened to the dull lullaby of the bathtub drain, fantasized about how many refrains it would take to end it. I have thought about ending it, getting off this carousel. Depression is a black sheep. We all have one, but some of us still talk to it. Some of us haven't disowned it yet. Looking back, I'm thankful this body is an obedient machine. It will keep doing what it's doing until it is told not to. Looking back, I'm surprised at how few scars I have, how I actually survived myself. My favorite thing about Ariel is her tattoos. They're awful. Ariel has a tattoo of a mermaid above each of her breasts. They look like they were drawn by my 5-year-old niece on sleeping pills. Depending on what shirt she wears or what day it is, they look more like pickles than sea creatures, and I tell her, I love her tattoos. And I do. I love that they're messed up. I love that she was messed up. I love that she was messed up and got her things together. These days, I don't own a box cutter. These days, I don't grind my teeth while I'm sleeping, and this was never meant to be a poem. It's only meant to be a reminder that you and I are never truly alone in all this. Whatever you felt last night, whatever needle was stitching its initials into your heart was felt by 100 other hearts. Whatever growls in the darkest corner of your memory is a beast that others have fed. You are not the only person who feels ugly tonight. You are not the only person who can't seem to find the right words until the conversation is over, who doesn't know what they're doing on this carousel, who cries for no reason, or never cries, or only cries when you feel like your life is finally standing still, and you don't know what to do when nothing is going wrong. When I told Ariel I wrote a poem about her, she called me an asshole and asked if I would read it to her while wearing a beret. I accidentally mopped her coat, which now smells like oranges and ass. It's not about always being happy. That's unhealthy. But you are only truly alone if you ignore all the other people who are exactly like you. Thank you so much, Fremd. Questions. Reminder, if you want merchandise, I'll tweet when I'm here tomorrow. Sound cool? Yes?
Did you do the Katy Perry poem?
Maybe, if I have enough time. I'll do it tomorrow for sure. Can you, last 2 periods? No, okay. Yes, sir. Anywhere between an hour, a couple hours, to a couple weeks, honestly. Like, sometimes there's like an idea brewing in my head for a while, and then I have to think about it, and then, or other times it's just a free write. Yeah, it kind of depends. Yes, sir.
What is your favorite poem in life?
My favorite poem is a poem called 1999 by Kevin Gonzalez, and it's my favorite poem because I think it walks the line between being incredibly poetic and image-based and very down-to-earth. Yes? Go ahead. Yep, you all the way in the back. Nope. Yep. I will think about it. I don't really perform that poem anymore, but you did request me, and you seem very nice. So I'll practice it in my hotel tonight. Yes. Yes. Okay. First question, favorite part of Germany? Just the fact that I got there on poetry. I was paid to fly there and perform there, and it was such a blessing. I mean, things that my job lets me do is amazing, and I'm constantly humbled and by it. So just being there for my art. Second question. What is it like? Ugh. Do you have 45 years? No, just kidding. I'm only 29. I love what I get to do. It's the same answer. I love my job. It's such a blessing. I love being here. I love Fremd. I love everything. I mean, I'm just thankful. It's a weird road. It's a weird life. I eat peanut butter a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Does that answer your question? Okay. Any more questions? Yes, sir.
I love your hair. When did you change it?
Thank you. I changed it the first week of February. Yes, sir.
What inspired your first poem like the Today one?
Today Means Amen. That inspired my first poem. Actually, the poem Werewolf is about my past history with depression and self-harm, and I wrote that poem 7, 8 years ago. It went on YouTube. I was really uncomfortable with that idea because of our stigmas about mental health issues. And then through my own healing, people started emailing me about that poem and finding solace in that poem. And I realized that I had the opportunity to really help people who were connected to that poem. And so it's kind of like talking to myself 7 years ago and also talking to the people who that poem is important to. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes?
Was poetry something you always really wanted to do?
No, absolutely not. If you told me I would have been a poet for a living, I would have like fallen over or punched you. I was a visual artist, and then I discovered poetry, and 100% of my creative energy went over there. And I also, even then, that was like 9 years ago, even then I didn't know I was going to make a career out of it. Yes, sir.
How much are your books?
My books are anywhere between $12 and $17, and I have 4 of them tomorrow. And I can credit card. I have a credit card swiper. Venmo, PayPal. Yes. Where did I go to college? I had a non-traditional college career. I went to 3 different colleges and finally graduated when I was 27 at the University of Minnesota. Yes, sir. Ma'am. You, sir. I can't see you. Gender is a construct. It's true. The lights are very bright. Oh my God. Hey, guess what? Doesn't even matter. I'm sorry, I can't hear the question. My parents were hippies, yes. It was awesome, except for I didn't drink soda until I was like 15. It was awesome because I had a really creative childhood, and I was like playing outside in the dirt naked constantly. I grew up in the woods. Any more questions? Wait, stay with me, friends. Go ahead. Yep. No, inappropriate. Also, I'm gonna be 30 in a couple months. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I can't hear the question, friends. I can't hear you. Next question. Okay, great. Yes, you green shirt. Doing what? Yeah. What's that like? It was awesome. He asked me about it in a second ago. It was cool. They're just hippies, meaning like they didn't give me soda, and we grew up in the woods. And my middle name is Fawn. Okay, people. It was cool. They're just hippie. My dad still has a ponytail. Yes. Yep. Anybody in the world is 1. High school is not forever. I cannot even remember the faces of the people who bullied me in high school. I do not care about them at all. High school is not forever. 2. You are your best asset. You are your best asset, and you are already enough. 10 times over, you are already enough. We constantly think that we are not enough, right? We are too fat, or we're too big, or we're too loud, or anything like that. Hey, friends, stay with me, please. Go ahead. Work hard, because it's not, outside of high school, you're going to have lots of bills to pay and things like taxes. So work hard, follow what you want to do, but have an ethic, right? Or like a work ethic. Have morals for yourself. College is really important. Yeah, so I got to go. Bye, friends. College is really important, but it's not for everybody.